Today we're going to talk about the value of a good home inspection. First of all, I just want to do a disclaimer that neither I nor anyone on our staff is a licensed home inspector. Let me share with you some of the reasons why we do home inspections, what the value is, why we believe in them, and why it is that we take this so seriously. First of all, this helps us to establish some sort of an accountability with the tenants, and it gives them the impression and helps them to have the foreknowledge that we are going to be regularly checking on the property. If there's any monkey business going on, we're going to find out about it. It sets a good expectation. That's always a plus. All people, tenants included, are on a spectrum. Somewhere between, responsible, irresponsible, somewhere between observant, not very observant. Most everybody will tell us if the heat or the air conditioning isn't working. That's a given. Everybody knows that. Anything that impacts their comfort, their daily living, they're going to let us know immediately we can get those issues resolved. Not everyone is equally capable or just equally observant to notice things like a water stain on the ceiling, or to notice maybe excess humidity, or maybe a water leak. We have come across properties where the water heater is in a closet and it's leaking actively when we are in the property doing a 6-month inspection. It's actually happened. Frequently, maintenance issues go unreported or underreported. So we have had instances where I guess people just don't want to inconvenience us, or they don't want to be a pain, or maybe they're just too busy and some of the little things don't bother them. But we would much rather know about it and have the opportunity to fix it. So that's part of the reason we do a home inspection, so that we can find maintenance items that have not been reported. And we believe that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And if we're able to find some of these items, take care of it before it costs you more money, before it causes damage to the property, that's part of the value of doing these inspections. So that's absolutely part of why we do it. We are looking at the property for lease compliance issues or lease violations. For instance, if there were no pets that were approved at the property and we see a dog bowl for water, that's a red flag. If we know that there's one person whose name is on the lease and there's 3 or 4 beds in the house, that could be a potential alarm bell that rings that, there may be additional occupants living in the property. And the list goes on. We frequently find smoke alarms that have been pulled down because they were chirping. That means the battery needs to be replaced, not that it needs to be pulled off the wall so that it won't sound in the event of an actual fire. These kind of things we see all the time, and that's part of why we do these home inspections. This is part of our criteria when it comes to lease renewal time, to evaluate whether a lease renewal with this candidate, with this tenant, is really something we want to encourage. Somebody who's making timely payments, somebody who's taking good care of the property, that's somebody obviously we want to encourage to stay and lease the property for another year. If we're seeing issues of neglect, misuse, abuse, and the property is not being adequately cared for, then this is something we're going to note, and when lease renewal time comes, we may not be renewing the lease for those very reasons. In the back of every investor's, homeowner's mind when they lay their head down on the pillow at night is somebody destroying my property? Are they taking care of my home? You've invested significant resources. This is a very valuable asset, and it's something that frequently worries people. And when you see the pictures that we've taken, when you can see, some tasteful furnishings, when you can see that somebody's living in the home and taking care of it, maybe even like you would, it adds a lot of peace of mind, and it's worth every ounce of our effort, any expense that could go into that. So we just wanted to share with you a little bit about these 6-month inspections, what we do, how we do it, why we do it, and I hope that's helpful for you, just to give you a little bit more information on our service and process. If you have any questions about this or anything else, please reach out to myself or one of our staff. We'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.